You want to buy a retirement property in Egypt and you're thinking about your budget. What budget do I need? You can get a property, a studio apartment in an area that is just developing, I would say for as low as 18 to 20,000 pounds. But it might not be what you want. For that budget, you're not going to get a seafront apartment. This apartment I'm talking about might be 3-4 blocks away from the beach, which is still really nice. And it's going to be in an area that is less developed, so up and coming. So you're going to have a lot of construction maybe for the next 5 years around you. But it will still be nice, it will still be clean, and it will have still electricity and all the amenities that you need for a good, peaceful life. The prices go up from there. If you're looking for a luxury flat, so sort of not to brag, but the flat I bought must have been 180,000 pounds. It's beachfront. It is on the beach. You come out of my building to sand. The views are incredible. Small luxury resort from a very reputable developer I will have a green contract which entitles me to have residency of Egypt because it's over $100,000. That's $100,000 that you need to get Egyptian residency. And there are other complexes which are even more expensive than mine. So if you go to a place like Salma Bay, which I highly recommend, if you got the money, Salma Bay is beautiful. You're going to be paying more than that. But you will have other amenities like little schools, and it's like living in a luxury resort. The other thing to consider when you have a budget is that a lot of the properties, especially if you buy off plan, will be financed without interest. So say you have 50,000 pounds and you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna go and buy outright, no mortgage, a property for that. But then you realize that you can use that 50,000 pounds as a deposit and then pay quarterly installments for 3 to 5 years to finish paying off the flat. That works really, really well. That's what I did. And the reason I did that is because this is going to be my last home. So I know that I'm going to live there possibly for the rest of my life. That's worth it, because me being on the beach, seeing the sea when I get up in the morning, listening to the waves crashing when I go to bed at night, that is worth me having to sacrifice over the next 3 years, to pay off this property, which is not going to be easy, but I will pay it off because, I always tend to end up doing what I do. But the important thing is to just budget yourself correctly. Also, there is a possibility that if you have more capital, you can put that capital into a bank at a high interest, because I think the interest in Egypt right now is 22% interest sort of for savings. So you could theoretically take the money from the savings to pay off the flat. And that's a really good way to do it as well. Of course, because of the way the pound, the Egyptian pound goes up and down, you do have the risk that that money in the bank could be devalued. So you kind of have to think, okay, and do the numbers, is this worth it for me? But then if the Egyptian pound is not devalued, or it's not devalued significantly, then you're going to have the flat paid off, and on top of that, you're going to have this nice little chunk of money that you can use to furnish it, get the kitchen, and get all the little things that you want to get. If you want me to give you access to my estate agent and my developer, pop me a private message. I need your name, your email, your WhatsApp number, and they send you everything they have through WhatsApp. You could also, if you have the money to pay in cash, you can get a really good deal by paying cash on the secondary market, meaning a flat that somebody has already lived in. If you do that, do not take the money from Europe, because often you can sign these contracts and people want to get paid abroad, because taking money out of Egypt is a problem. So this is what everyone keeps saying, putting all your money into this flat. And like, I'm gonna die in that flat. I will die there. So I'm absolutely okay if I can't get the money out. And also, being the economist I am, I know that the tables are going to turn in Egypt in the next 10 to 15 years. These flats are going to double in price, and if I want to sell it, I will be able to sell it and get the money out. But why would I want to? I know myself enough that I know that I'll be happy there for the rest of my life. I'm going to do another video on cost of living. If you have any questions, just pop them in the comments and I'll answer them.